Hey, welcome to List Building Mastery. I'm excited for you. This is going to be awesome. This is where we're going to be talking about building your list, which is your biggest business asset, right? So if you are selling any product, if you're running a company, if you're thinking about running a company, if you're thinking about building a brand, having a list is critically important. As a matter of fact, if you don't have a list, you have nothing, right? So company is not a logo. Company is not even an office. Company is not even a product. A company, what makes a company be a company and valuable company is the people or the customer base or the prospects list, right? It's the people that congregate, right, within that company. It's the activity of people, right? And when a lot of people think about list, a lot of marketers and a lot of people in our space, obviously we're in the internet marketing kind of a community here, and I see a lot of people refer to their lists as like this thing, right? It's like, well, how big is your list? Well, my list is, 50,000 or 100,000 or 20,000. So a lot of people look at their list as like a thing. And that's a wrong way to look at lists. So I'm going to be teaching you all about list building. I'm going to be talking about some fundamental principles, strategies, some really important things that you need to understand when it comes to building your list. And let me tell you why this is really, really important, right? So take a look at my board here as we kind of introduce this pillar in the academy. Traffic is important, but why do we get traffic? Well, we get traffic because we need to turn those visitors into subscribers, right? So if this is our traffic pillar right here, okay, if this is traffic, and obviously, internet traffic mastery pillar, we covered a lot about traffic, but it's almost like we have to stem back, right? Because traffic is like secondary. You need to understand list building fundamentals first, and then you start applying what you learned and what I teach you inside traffic getting mastery, right? So that you can attract the right kind of people onto your list so you have a good match. And I'll tell you why. This might not make sense for you right now, but stay with me here. We're gonna take this, we're gonna cover this in details that you will be really, really beneficial to you. Now we're getting traffic to our landing page, right? You see me draw this out all the time, and this is where you build your list, okay? Now your list, and then obviously people typically sell whatever it is that they're selling. This is a typical model in the industry, and then people typically hammer their list with, these things, whatever they're selling, just buy. And again, like we already talked about, hopefully you have, seen me talk about or present this idea. That's a wrong model to follow, right? That's gonna get you nowhere. That's gonna, that's gonna distant you from your list, and nobody's gonna pay attention to you. That's not the way to go. What we're gonna be talking about, obviously, as we get further into the program here, we're gonna be talking about, as you're building your list, we need to be mindful for the long-term strategy. And the long-term strategy for us is going to be building our own hub, right? Which is your home on the internet. It's gonna look something like that. So all the sales are gonna come from here, right? Sales, we're gonna talk about multiple streams of income. We're gonna be talking about creating a brand, right? And then we're gonna be talking about building a community, okay? And community is critically important. Now, what we need to understand is what happens. See, everybody wants to have a community. Everybody wants to have a lot of people following them. Everybody wants to have fans and followers and customers and loyal customers and fans for life, right? When you put out something new, people will just jump on it. Everybody wants that. However, where all of this will start, right, is it all kind of stems back from, right, starting from traffic generation, and then definitely this list building pillar right here. This is what we're going to be talking about in this segment of the academy, or this pillar of the academy, which is list building. This is going to be like that big filter, like that front door into your world, because everything past this point, okay, moving forward in your business will be determined, or the quality of your community will be determined based on the quality of the list prospects that are entering through your front door. Does that make sense? See, not all lists are created equal, okay? Let me give you a couple, let's just talk about some fundamental, rules and kind of, ideas here, let's just talk about some common things that we need to be on the same page on, okay? List is critically important. This is your business asset. So if you look at any company in the world, take a look at any technology company, take a look at Skype, right? We use Skype a lot. We use them for a whole bunch of different things. Now, Skype is a free service, right? We don't have to pay for Skype, really. But Skype is valued probably, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, right? Skype. Now, it's a free service. It's a technology company, right? How easy do you think would it be to replicate Skype's technology? Not too complicated, right? With the right talent, right developers, they could replicate it in a heartbeat just like this in today's day and age, right? It's not difficult to replicate a technology. But why is Skype so valuable? Why is Skype valued so high in the marketplace? Is because of their user base, okay? Their list. Does that make sense? Same reason why Amazon is a $1 trillion company is because they have attracted, right, a community of people that like to shop on Amazon, right? And then they aggregate data. We're going to be talking about data aggregation as we move through the program. It's very, very important for you to understand how to do that properly, okay? Again, how difficult is it to replicate Amazon's technology, right? Not that difficult, honestly. Obviously it's massive and they grew, but they started out as a bookseller, selling books, right? And so one thing is like Lego pieces. They kept on building and adding things and adding things and adding things, but their focus has always been to attract the right customer, serve the customer, and then expand and multiply customers, right? So AKA list, okay? So there's a list building that will then later turn into your community building, okay? So the importance of a list for entrepreneurs and marketers like us here in this industry is how valuable could the list be to you if you do it properly? Well, the rule of thumb on list building is, you can think of something like this. Every subscriber, okay, every subscriber that's on your list, if you do this properly, should be worth $1 per subscriber, okay, per month to your bottom line, to your business. So again, this can vary depending on different list segments and segmentations and all these other things we're going to be talking about. But again, as a rule of thumb, something like a baseline for you to measure yourself or your effectiveness or your success, right, would be that. It would be a fair kind of a statement to say that every subscriber should be worth for you about $1 per month on average. Okay, so if you have a list of, let's say, 10,000 subscribers, I'm not talking about customers, I'm talking about just subscribers on your list. If you do this properly, on average, those 10,000 subscribers should be making you, right, $10,000 per month consistently. Okay, this is not counting any special promotions you do or anything like that. Everything you want in life, especially if you're doing, if you're part of our industry, which is internet marketing, online business, this kind of stuff, information marketing, affiliate marketing, which again, we're going to talk, we're going to get into a little bit more details on that one in just a little bit, okay? But everything that you want, that dream life that you want, that car that you want, that nicer house, that fancier clothes, the nicer food that you order, that can order it at the restaurant, everything will be paid by your subscribers, okay? Fair statement? Right? So if you approach list building from that angle, from that aspect, right, and don't think of them as like a thing, don't think of your list or don't refer to your list, don't even allow yourself to subconsciously think of your list as like a thing. Well, I have a list, it's like a thing. But if you look at each individual subscriber as a unique human being, just like you, okay, you have a name, you have desires, you have fears, you have dreams, you have ambitions, you have things that you like, you have things that you are moving away towards, away from, and things that you're moving towards, right? Perhaps you have aspirations, and you have family that you want to take care of, you have your loved ones. In other words, you have your life, right? So if you start looking at your list as individual people that came to you because they wanted to have something, they wanted to get something, which is some sort of an improvement in their life, they could care less about you. That's the truth, okay? But what did they want? And then if you can approach in serving, like your approach to them in servicing them would be as such where you help them get what they want, you will never ever lack anything that you want, okay? So $1 per month per subscriber is about like the baseline that you can calculate for yourself. So if your list, if you grow your list to 100,000 subscribers, you should be making about 100,000 a month. All right. If your list goes to 1 million, hey, you should be at least $1 million per month, probably even more. And if you apply some of the things I'm going to be teaching you here in this pillar, right, on list building, and then you pair this with tribe building and communication mastery, copywriting mastery and conversion mastery, all these things come together, okay? I would not be surprised. I mean, this is not out of ordinary for us to see, some of our lists have cost per subscriber upwards of $30, $40, $50, $100 and more, right? Depending on how, what you do with them. The common kind of a fallacy is that, when people think about list building, or talking about list building, especially in the guru world, right? A lot of these gurus refer to this phrase you might have heard, where they say the money's in the list, right? Have you heard that phrase? Have you heard that saying? The money's in the list, right? So the bigger the list, and it's very kind of easy for you to fall into that thinking, okay? Especially with some of these things I just shared with you, like, hey, $1 per subscriber per month. So naturally you might think, well, the money's in the list, right? So the bigger the list, the more money I'll make. And that's partially true, okay? My intention is to teach you all the ins and outs, everything that you need to know to build and cultivate a highly responsive list. The truth is, the money is not in the list necessarily, okay? If the money was in the list, spammers would probably be the richest people on earth, right? I mean, you could probably go and buy a list of a gazillion email addresses and just spam them, and then you immediately become a trillionaire, right? But that's not the case. So the money is not in the list. That's a fallacy. Okay, it's a myth. Don't think like that. The money is in the relationship that you have with your list. Okay, so then if we kind of take a step back and take a look at what creates that relationship, or what's going to foster, or what's going to cultivate that relationship, well, it's going to be value, right? So the money really is going to be in the value that you deliver to your list, and the relationship that that gets cultivated as a result of you delivering value to your list. Okay, it's very, very key what I just told you right now. This is the difference between somebody who's making it big and somebody who's gonna fail. Okay, traffic is important. However, you understanding what to do with that traffic as it comes to your site, as it comes to your front door, is going to be critically important. Actually, it's more important than the traffic itself. Okay, not all lists are created equal. Okay, if you take a look at, for example, let's take a look at any industry. I'm part of the internet marketing community. Have been serving this community for well over a decade, almost 15 years at the time of recording this video. So I am very familiar with this community, right? So, but if you take a look at internet marketing community, if you let this circle, this pie, represent internet marketing community in general, right? It would be a mistake to think that just because I serve internet marketing community, the entire pie is my market. It would be a big mistake. Why? Because inside the internet marketing community, there's all these different segments within the community, right? So for example, this right here can be affiliate marketing. Okay? Affiliate marketers, people that are promoting other people's stuff. Okay? Maybe this segment right here could be multi-level marketing, MLM, right? This could be maybe direct selling. Direct sales, okay? This might be CPA, all right? This might be info marketing. Does that make sense? And then, this right here, right? This right here might be gurus, and then this right here might be like services, agencies, etc., etc., etc. You see what I'm saying, right? So if I want to build a community, what I'm about to share with you is critically important, because we're going to dive into more of these details. And when you understand this stuff, you can write your ticket in life. You can decide how much money you can make, right? The money is not in the list. The money is in the relationship that you have with the list through the value that you have given to them. So what the first thing we need to do, okay, before we even start building our landing pages, or before we even start driving traffic to anything, is identify your ideal subscriber. Okay, who would be your ideal subscriber? What is the segment of your market that you will be serving? Does that make sense? So like, for example, in my case, what segments could I serve? Definitely affiliate marketing. Okay, we can serve that segment. We can serve, for example, direct selling, MLM. Maybe not, right? Because MLM is a little bit of a different world, right? CPA people, maybe not, right? So you identify your segment where people that you can help the most, and people that you want to be part of your community later. And so you only want to attract the right kind of subscribers onto your list, okay? Bigger is not better. I would take, a 10,000 person list that is highly targeted, that is highly cultivated, okay? Over 1 million subscribers that are kind of just like generic, falling anywhere, right, within the on the spectrum there, okay? Because you can make more money with 10,000 subscribers than you can with 10 million subscribers or 1 million subscribers, okay? Make sense? So the next question is how do we start cultivating that? What are some of the things that we need to be looking at, or some of the things that we need to understand in order for us to start attracting the right kind of subscriber? And that's something we're going to be talking about in the next lesson. It's called Invisible Force. And I'm going to explain that to you in the next lesson. See ya.